Alright, hello guys. No intro, no bullshit. We're gonna get straight into this video. My Royal Rumble 2014 live reactions. It's currently quarter past 8 even in the night, although it is quarter past 7 in the UK. I don't know why I bothered pointing that out. And I'm watching the Royal Rumble 1989. I've not seen some of these early Rumbles. A couple of days ago I watched the first Rumble from 1988, which was a 20-man Rumble. This is the first ever 30-man Rumble, opening up with Axe and Smash, and now we got Andre the Giant coming out number 3. Just turn it down a little bit so you can hear me a bit better. And I'm just checking out some of the early ones before tonight. And I'm also doing something quite disgusting. I have a bowl of boiling hot water. I have some tissue. And what I'm doing is I'm cleaning my feet because I have a skin condition, and this is true, this isn't a joke. I have a skin condition called eczema. It's where you get very dry skin, and it's usually my feet that bear the worst of it. You know, they get very dry, and especially in the winter when it's very cold, they start to crack, and my feet literally start to open. Sometimes it bleeds, sometimes it doesn't. I just noticed earlier that there was a big globule of a big circle of congealed blood on my sock, and I could already feel that my feet were hurting. But yeah, I've got cracks all over them. So clean them out with some hot water, which stings a little. And now the pièce de résistance, Germaline New Skin. This is amazing stuff. It's so amazing that the camera won't focus on it immediately, but there you go. Now this stuff basically is skin glue, and it's antiseptic stuff, and you dab it on with this little thing and it stings like a motherfucker, like you would not believe, and then it kind of hardens and it fills in the gap that you have in your body, the cut or whatever, and then as the skin grows back it just pushes the glue out, and it kind of you know, it's for me, I prefer it. You know, it feels like it's doing its job more than like a plaster or a bandage. And this is the kind of thing you can expect from this video. It's a lot of bullshit. I said at the beginning, no bullshit, but this is a lot of bullshit. But I thought it would be quite interesting to get my reaction to putting this glue on for the first time. I haven't done it in quite a while, and this is a really nasty one. It's not that nasty. It's just, you know, cracks on the side of my foot. I'm not going to show it obviously because that would be horrible, but here we go. Oh, it's not that painful actually. To begin. Oh, ha! Jesus Christ! Oh god, that searing sting. Oh, I spoke too soon then. Really pack it in there. Make sure you get everything. Ah! Oh my god, oh! Oh! Right, that's one down. Alright, so that's my right foot done. I'll just leave that to dry now. Get some moisturising cream on the rest of my foot, and you know, hopefully the cracks will not come back for a while. I've got to keep my foot moisturised. And there's also the left foot to do. But before that, as I'm watching the 1989 Royal Rumble, which is pretty memorable so far, I thought I would talk to you about my predictions for tonight's show. So, who have we got in this Royal Rumble? We've got Batista, we've got CM Punk, and that's about it. The Shield is also in the match. For me, the only two possible winners are CM Punk and Batista. You're not going to see Rey Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble. You're not going to see Alberto Del Rio winning the Royal Rumble. You're not going to see Sheamus returning and winning the Royal Rumble. You're not going to see Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble because he's not in the Royal Rumble, which sucks. And you know, the only real person I could see coming out of nowhere would be Roman Reigns, but I still think that WWE are going to be wise at least with him and not pull the trigger too soon. You know, I think Roman Reigns is money. I think he's awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of his career unfold, but not tonight. It'll be Batista, which I think is horrible, and I'm going to go into why I think this is horrible, because this is my video, and I can talk about whatever I want, and I'm going to blather on about why Batista has really annoyed me in his return. Right now, everyone's trying to get Andre the Giant out of the ring, obviously. He's kind of giving Smash a bit of a stink face there. Whoa, that was an amazing sell-from a punch. Was that Mr. Perfect? I haven't been paying full attention. I think that is Kurt Hennig. It is! That was amazing. He just took a punch and did like a backflip. It was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, Batista, you know, he came back on Raw, and it was just like, you know, it seemed like he thought he was The Rock, you know, and just the posing on the turnbuckle, the shade, the bald head. And he was kind of posing for a bit too long, milking it a bit too much, and he kisses the ring, and it's like, oh my, he's supposed to be this big, muscular badass coming in, and he's like getting down on his hands and knees and kissing the ring and delivering boring promos. And he did this backstage interview with Renee Young on WWE.com, where he was like, oh, I was just so nervous, you know. It's just so nerve-wracking every time, you know. WrestleMania, I'm like dry heaving, I'm not kidding. No, but seriously, I'm going to be going for the WWE title. I mean, he doesn't get it. Batista doesn't get it, in my opinion. You don't say stuff like that when you're supposed to be this big, dominant kind of badass wrestler. You don't kind of say, you know, like at Comic-Con, I've said this so many times, I can't believe it, he was interviewed at Comic-Con about this new Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel movie he's doing, and he was like, crying almost. He's like, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. It's like, you don't say stuff like that. You don't get teary-eyed when you're a big guy like that. Which, I guess, you know, I've got nothing against sensitivity, I've got nothing against people being nervous, but when you've got to present yourself in a way in wrestling, you know, could you imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin going, I'm going out there to open up a can of whoop ass, but before I do that, just let me tell you now, I'm a little bit nervous. It wouldn't happen, you know, or if it did happen, it would suck. You gotta have a certain amount of character there where you kind of act tough, at least, to go along with your in-ring action and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, for me, I hate the fact that Batista's walked in. I hate the fact that he's just kind of taken the main event spot at WrestleMania when he's been away for 4 years. You know, you've had someone like Daniel Bryan who started, you know, in the company just around the time Batista left. And Bryan has spent nearly 4 years now working his ass off every single week, you know, just, well, multiple times in a week, you know, just absolutely busting his ass in terms of the wrestling. He's developed a character, he's developed a fan base, a following, you know. He's captured the imagination of, you know, wrestling fans across the world. I'm now noticing online there is actually quite a lot of people sneaking in now who are getting sick of Daniel Bryan. Jake the Snake Roberts, I think that is, coming in. He just slipped on the rope as he... Crowd are going nuts, so he was so over in the 80s, it's mental. What was I saying? Yeah, people are starting to say Daniel Bryan's boring now, and honestly, I can see where they're coming from, because the yes thing, it's got to have a shelf life. Surely, it's been going on for like a couple of years now, and it's going to get to the point where people are not going to want to be going yes, 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 because you know, when you drill something into you know, someone's mind for long enough, it gets stagnant and stale. But there's still a bit of momentum behind it, and he definitely saved it by doing the whole no thing for quite a lot of 2012. So that was good. You know, and it's this thing where, and I'm going on far too long with this, and this isn't my live reactions now, this is my pre-reactions. I might put this up actually before the Rumble actually instead, because I don't want people to be hoping for live reactions and just seeing all this boring bullshit. So yeah, I feel like, what was I even saying? I'm trying to watch while talking. This is the terrible idea. My foot is healing up well. It's the glue's hardening, so that's good. Only one more foot to do. Daniel Bryan I was talking about. Yeah, I don't want to sound like one of those people who like whines about Daniel Bryan. It's like, he should be the world champion. He should win every match. He should main event every show. I don't think that. You know, you need to have variety, but I feel like he's a guy that deserves it, and I feel like he is money. I feel like he can draw money. He's got the merchandise, you know, he's got people who love him. People who will pay to see him. Okay? I mean, if it's not, you know, if this isn't something to judge Daniel Bryan's drawing power on. I don't know what is. A couple of weeks ago, when he did the cage match and he turned face again, he's on top of the cage, he got all the crowd going yes, and then he had a concussion. He missed a few live events, and I think he came back to wrestling on a live show last night. So he missed a couple of live shows, and the people in those live shows could get refunds if they want, because he wasn't there. Which means that they surely know that people are paying to see Daniel Bryan. You know, he is the most popular guy in the company right now. You know, in terms of reaction, you know, maybe not in terms of, I don't know, like a worldwide following like a John Cena, but, you know, he's really, really getting over, and I feel like he deserves a big match at WrestleMania. I'm not saying he should be the champion, I just think he deserves a big match, and from what I've heard, the rumour is he's going to wrestle Sheamus, which I think is just, you know, boring. I mean, we've seen it so many times before. I'm sure it'll be a good match, you know, but it's not what I want to see at WrestleMania 30, you know? I want to see him wrestle Lesnar, I want to see him wrestle The Undertaker, or Punk, or someone really good. I want to see a big match with Daniel Bryan. I don't think it's going to happen, because he's not what WWE planned for. They never planned for him to be this big guy. They never planned for him to be a fan favourite, you know, known across the world for, you know, the yes. You know, WWE didn't expect him to have a chant or a catchphrase or a catchword that people would be doing at basketball games, you know. So I think that, you know, Vince and probably Triple H to a certain extent feel like what they want to do is best, and that's fine, you know. I mean, you got to go with what you want to go with. But, you know, you should. There's a point where you should listen to the fans, and I think, you know, about 10 years ago, that was kind of happening, and it was awesome. You know, you talk about WrestleMania, you know, 2003. In 2003, who were the biggest stars in wrestling? You know, Rock, Austin, even though they were on their way out. You know, Lesnar was getting there. You know, Triple H was still huge. Angle was one of the main guys. It's a tough thing to say, because, you know, you can look at like who was the most popular. Here's Shawn Michaels in his first Royal Rumble appearance with his bright blonde hair. This is a real weird mix of wrestlers here. We got Mr. Perfect, we got Shawn Michaels, Andre the Giant, all looking very different. Yeah, you can look at the big. If you just kind of whittle it down, you can go right wrestling business. You know, Hogan, Austin, Cena. You know, they're the three holy grails really of the generation. Oh my God, Mr. Perfect is selling like a king right now for Shawn Michaels. This is awesome. I don't want to take my eyes away from these two guys. Oh wow! Oh, that was great. Shawn Michaels with a drop kick. Mr. Perfect over the top rope, but he catches on and weasels his way back into the ring. Huge fan of Kurt Hennig. Amazing. And Shawn Michaels, obviously. Yeah, I know, my point was, you know, 2003, we were seeing like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar in the main event, you know, and it was just like, that was an awesome main event. Two awesome wrestlers who deserved it, you know. 2004, you know, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, two guys who were never the #1 face of the company, they were never the biggest stars in the world, but they were two of the best wrestlers in the world, and they were over as hell, and they got their moment of glory at WrestleMania 20. That's what I'd like to see at WrestleMania 30, someone who's deserving it, someone who's worked for years to get that top spot or to get that big match. Not someone like Dave Bautista who just walks in and says, I'm going to come back, I want to win the title at WrestleMania, and Triple H is like, oh, yes Bautista, anything you say. It's just, I don't know. And the fact that everyone's loving it as well is really bothering me. It's fine if you love Bautista, don't get offended, I don't think he's that good. I really don't think he's that good. When a guy can't do his finisher properly, it's ridiculous. And if he thinks that's doing it properly, then there's something wrong with him, because he just doesn't know how to sit out, and it really bugs me. And I'm not saying he's terrible, but I just really don't think he's that good. And I really don't think he was that big of a draw. I mean, I know Shaw Blackwood will say he was a big draw, and hang on a minute. Jake Roberts is, whoa! Jake Roberts is back, throws the python in the ring straight away. That is mental. Oh, that was brilliant. Under the oh, this is. I wish I could put this in the corner for you to see. Andre the Giant got straight out of there, threw himself over the top rope. He's like, "Fuck that!" not getting anywhere near that python. That is brilliant. Oh, I don't know if he eliminated Jake and that's why he came out with the snake, but There you go. That was awesome. This is just me watching wrestling now. This is mental. Right. Yeah, Batista. You know. It's just. You know, when he came out, and the internet especially, just like, oh yeah, so great to see Batista back. You know, Batista in the main event. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh. I don't get it. I don't get this love for Batista. You know, he can throw people around. He can't really get thrown around himself. Not that that's the mark of a great wrestler, but you know, I really enjoyed his heel stuff in 2010. That's the thing. If he came back as a heel, I'd be more receptive to it because I feel like that's his strength, as being a big monster heel who's a bit of a dick, you know. But just coming back as this generic face, I feel the same way about Orton, but I'm even getting bored of Orton's heel character right now, so I don't know, maybe I'm just too hard to please, and this might be just a colossal waste of time for anyone to watch, but there you go. I think I'm going to post this as my Royal Rumble 2014 live reactions video. I probably won't be able to get it. I might be able to get this up before the actual Rumble, so we'll see where it goes, but I'll give you my predictions. Batista's going to win without a doubt. Maybe Punk has an outside chance of winning. I really doubt it though. I think Punk's going to wrestle Triple H in a non-title match, and we're going to see Batista versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania in the main event, and I'm going to be there. I'm considering just leaving after whatever matches before Batista Randy Orton. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. It could be good, but I just don't want to see it, you know. But you know, as wrestling fans, we can be stubborn and all this. And here's the thing, another thing I want to quickly touch on. When people say, "Oh, people on the internet whining about wrestling, get over it. Stop being such a whiny bitch," you know, and all that. And it's like, well, think about other sports like football, where if your team doesn't win, yeah, people get killed because of that shit. I mean, it's ridiculous when you look at other sports and how seriously people take it. And then you can kind of flip that over to the other side of the coin and say, well, wrestling's predetermined. That's almost even more frustrating because you know it's within the realms of possibility that it could have been so much different and it could have been so much better. Not, you know, they were the better team, but they could have booked it much better, you know, and it could, you know, it's a very grey area, but I feel like as a wrestling fan, I reserve my right to get on the internet like the rest of them and just have a good old bitch and moan. Because that's what wrestling's all about. Now I'm going to glue up the rest of my foot before it falls off, and I'll see you in my live reactions video. Shawn Michaels about to get eliminated now by Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he's holding on, he's back in.
He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool. Even though I'm sure he's a quite nice guy, really. He's a quite nice guy, really.